Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
The United States and Iran have one of the world's most difficult relationships. The United States is a large and powerful country. Iran is also a very important country in its region. The United States has over 320 million people. Iran has over 80 million people. These two nations have not had direct government talks for more than 40 years. They stopped talking in the late 1970s. Since then, they have had no formal diplomatic relations. This lack of talk makes things hard. Tensions often grow. They have been very near to a big conflict more than one time in the past. In the first days of 2020, the danger was very high. A war seemed possible. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, ordered an attack. This attack killed an important Iranian military leader in Iraq. It was done with a drone. Iran responded quickly. They fired missiles at American military bases in Iraq. Many people thought a bigger war would start. But a full war was avoided then. It was a time of great risk. Why is the relationship between the United States and Iran so bad? Why do they come so close to war? To find the answers, we must look at their history together. Their shared past is long and complicated. It includes times when they worked together and times when they were strong enemies. Understanding this history is key. It helps us see why they have problems today. It helps us understand their actions. And it helps us think about what might happen next. The history starts many years ago, before the Second World War. It is a story of oil, power, revolutions, and many difficult events. This history is important because it explains the situation now. It shows why the United States and Iran do not trust each other. It shows why they have not talked formally for over 4 decades. Learning about this past is the first step to understanding this important global issue. It is a story that affects many people and countries. 2. Oil and big changes. Early in the 20th century, something very important happened in the country of Iran. British people found oil under the ground there. This was a big discovery because oil was becoming a very valuable resource all around the world. As time passed and they found more oil fields, people learned that Iran had one of the largest amounts of oil on the planet. This meant Iran was a potentially powerful country because of its energy wealth. Britain made an agreement with Iran about how to take this oil out of the ground and sell it. They started a company together called the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. However, the agreement was not fair to the people of Iran. Iran was the country that owned the land and the oil, but it received only a small part of the money from selling it. Iran got about 16% of the profits. Britain took the much larger part, about 84%. The Anglo-Iranian Oil Company became extremely big and powerful. It came to control all of Iran's oil and grew to be the largest company in the entire British Empire. Some years later, the Second World War began in 1939. This global war brought new worries for Britain and the Soviet Union. Iran officially said it was neutral and would not join the war on either side. But Britain and the Soviet Union worried about Iran's leader, the Shah. They believed he might be too friendly with Germany, which was their main enemy. Iran was located in a very important place, right next to the Soviet Union. If Iran somehow helped Germany, it could make the war much harder for the Soviet Union and also put the huge Anglo-Iranian oil company and its valuable oil in danger. Because of these worries, in 1941, Britain and the Soviet Union decided to invade Iran together. Iran's army was not prepared for this and was much smaller than the invading forces. They could not fight them for long and surrendered quickly. The invaders removed the old Shah from power. Instead, they chose his son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, to become the new Shah. He was a young man, only 21 years old at the time. Britain and the Soviet Union thought that the younger Shah would be easier to control and would not act against their interests during the war. Iran was then used as an important way to send vital supplies to the Soviet Union for the rest of the Second World War. 3. A new leader and a big problem. After World War II finished, the soldiers from other countries left Iran. But the people in Iran were still not happy about the oil. The deal made a long time ago was not fair. Britain still made most of the money from Iran's oil, while the Iranian oil workers lived and worked in bad conditions. Iranians wanted their country to control its own oil. This idea became very popular. In 1951, the Prime Minister of Iran was a man named Mohammad Mossadegh. He was chosen by the people. With the support of the Iranian parliament, Prime Minister Mossadegh made a big decision. He decided that Iran would take control of its oil industry. This is called nationalizing the oil. This made Britain and America very angry. Britain stopped buying Iranian oil. Then, in 1953, the secret services from Britain and America worked together. America's CIA and Britain's MI6 helped plan something to remove Prime Minister Mossadegh. They helped people in Iran organize a sudden change, often called a coup. This change happened quickly. Mohammad Mossadegh was removed from his job and kept in his house. Sadly, about 300 Iranians died during this time. The young king, the Shah, became much more powerful now. He was king before, but after this, he had almost total power. Many Iranians saw the Shah as someone helped by Western countries. But for America, the Shah became a very important friend. It was the time of the Cold War, and America wanted friends in that part of the world. Iran had a good location and lots of oil. The Shah became a strong partner for the United States. 4. The king's power and people's anger. After the events of 1953, the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, became much stronger. He was very friendly with countries in the West, especially America and Israel. Iran became an important friend for America during this time, known as the Cold War. The Shah wanted to make Iran more modern, like Western countries. He brought many changes. For example, he gave women more rights. They could go to universities and work in more jobs. He also tried to make the government less connected to religion. But not everyone liked these changes or the Shah's close ties to the West. Many people in Iran felt the Shah listened more to America than to his own people. He had a secret police force called Savak. Savak watched people who were against the Shah. They arrested many people who spoke or acted against the government. Reports said that people were sometimes hurt in prison. These changes made different groups in Iran unhappy. People with leftist ideas did not like the Shah's connection to America. Many working-class people felt they did not get enough benefit from the country's money, especially from oil. Religious leaders and many conservative people did not like the modern changes or the government becoming less religious. They did not like the rights given to women or the friendship with Israel. Over many years, more and more people felt angry with the Shah's rule. The gap between the Shah's government and the people grew bigger. This unhappiness spread across different parts of society. The situation in the country became more difficult. This growing anger would lead to big problems for the Shah later on. The stage was set for a major change in Iran. 5. A big change in Iran. The anger against the Shah grew very big. In the late 1970s, protests turned into a major revolution. Many sad things happened that made people even more angry. For example, there was a terrible fire in a movie theater in Abadan. Many people died. Then, soldiers shot at protesters in the capital city, Tehran. This killed and hurt many more people. Millions of Iranians came out to the streets. They all wanted the Shah to leave the country. The Shah saw that his army was not fully supporting him anymore. He knew he could not stay. So, in early 1979, the Shah left Iran and went to live in another country. After the Shah left, a very important religious leader named Ayatollah Khomeini came back to Iran. He had been living outside Iran for many years. He became the new leader of the country. Iran changed its government completely. It became an Islamic republic. This new government was very different from the Shah's rule. It was strongly against the United States and also against Israel. Quickly, Iran changed from being a friend of the U.S. to being a big enemy. The revolution brought a huge change to Iran and changed its place in the world. 6. War and more trouble. After the big change in Iran, things became very difficult with America. In November 1979, some Iranian students and revolutionary people went inside the American embassy in Tehran. They took 52 Americans. These people were working there, like diplomats and others. They held them for a long time, 444 days. The United States did not like this. The American president tried to free the hostages. In April 1980, America sent soldiers in helicopters to try and rescue them. But the plan did not work well. There was an accident. A helicopter hit a plane. 8 American soldiers died. The mission had to stop. The hostages were still held. Because of this and other problems, the United States decided to stop talking to Iran completely. The two countries had no diplomatic relations anymore. Then, in September 1980, the country next to Iran, Iraq, started a war. Saddam Hussein was the leader of Iraq. He wanted Iraq to be stronger than Iran in the region. The war between Iran and Iraq lasted for 8 long years. It was a very hard and bloody war for both sides. Many, many people died, maybe 400,000 Iranians. The United States did not fight directly in this war, but they helped Iraq. America gave weapons and support to Saddam Hussein and Iraq. They wanted Iran to be weaker after its revolution. During this time, a group called Hezbollah in Lebanon started attacking American targets. Hezbollah had support from Iran. In 1983, there was a big bombing at the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon. Many Americans were killed. Later that year, another large bomb attacked a place where American and French soldiers slept in Lebanon. More than 240 Americans died. The United States said Iran supported these attacks and put Iran on a list of countries that support terrorism. Later in the war, in 1988, American and Iranian ships had fights in the sea. This was called Operation Praying Mantis. U.S. ships fought Iranian ships and damaged or sank several of them. 56 Iranian people died in these fights. Only 2 Americans died. Sadly, shortly after these sea battles, something terrible happened by mistake. In July 1988, a U.S. warship was in the sea. It saw an airplane on its radar. The American ship thought the plane was an Iranian military plane that was going to attack them. But it was not a military plane. It was a regular passenger plane from Iran Air flying to Dubai. The U.S. ship shot a missile at the plane. The plane was hit and destroyed. 290 people were on that plane, and everyone died. 290 innocent people. Many were Iranian. It was a very sad mistake and made the relationship between the U.S. and Iran much worse. 7. Worries about big weapons. After many difficult events, the United States took a big step in 1995. The government of President Clinton stopped all trade with Iran. This was called a total embargo. This meant American companies could not do business with Iran. Trouble continued. In 1996, a group called Hezbollah, which had support from Iran, attacked a U.S. target in Saudi Arabia. Many Americans were hurt or killed. Then came the attacks of September 11, 2001. After this, U.S. President Bush spoke about countries that worried America. He called Iran, Iraq, and North Korea an axis of evil. This made the relationship worse. Later, in 2003, the U.S. went to war in Iraq and removed Saddam Hussein from power. This event made countries like Iran think. It seemed that if a country did not have very powerful weapons, like nuclear ones, it could be attacked. This made Iran think about starting its own nuclear weapons program. The United States did not want Iran to have nuclear weapons. For years, they used different ways to stop this, like stopping trade and talking to Iran. In 2015, under President Obama, the U.S. and other countries made a deal with Iran. It was called the Iran Nuclear Deal. In this deal, the U.S. agreed to stop some sanctions, which were economic punishments. In return, Iran agreed to limit its nuclear work and allow people to check if they followed the rules. For a while, the relationship seemed a little better. But in 2016, Donald Trump became the new President of the United States. He did not like the nuclear deal. In 2018, President Trump decided the U.S. would leave the deal. He also put the strong economic sanctions back on Iran. Iran was not happy. They said they would start more nuclear activities. They also said they might stop ships from passing through an important sea area called the Strait of Hormuz. This could hurt the world's oil trade. In 2019, the problems grew. Ships were damaged in the Persian Gulf. The U.S. said Iran was responsible, but Iran said no. In June, Iran shot down a U.S. drone flying near the Strait of Hormuz. This caused more tension. Later, ships were taken by both sides for a time. It was clear the situation was becoming very dangerous. 8. Almost a war. What now? In late 2019, tensions grew very high. There were attacks on a U.S. military base in Iraq. One American worker died, and soldiers were hurt. The U.S. blamed groups that Iran supported. Then, on December 31, 2019, these groups attacked the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, the capital of Iraq. They damaged the embassy, but no one was killed inside. On January 3, 2020, the United States made a big move. U.S. forces killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in Baghdad. President Donald Trump ordered this attack. Soleimani was a very important general in Iran. Iran was very angry. 5 days later, on January 8, 2020, Iran fired missiles at U.S. military bases in Iraq. The world watched, worried about a full war. But, thankfully, no American soldiers were killed in Iran's missile attack. This gave both countries a chance to stop. America did not attack back, and Iran did not fire more missiles. They avoided a big war. Sadly, tragedy still happened. Because Iran's air defenses were on high alert, they made a terrible mistake. They shot down a plane, Ukrainian Airlines Flight 752, thinking it was an enemy target. All 176 people on the plane died. Many innocent people were lost because of the high tension. The two countries came very close to a large conflict. A full war could have been terrible. Peace was kept, but it is still not strong. The relationship between the U.S. and Iran is still very difficult. What do you think can help countries avoid war?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.